trade a couple strikeouts for just one big hit, right?
Yeah, we're still waiting, aren't we? You know, but yeah, you know, the pitching again was really good, and I'll take that up to this point. The hitting's going to come. I'm not worried about that. I'm really not. It's disappointing when you lose, and particularly when your pitcher. It's almost a double whammy when your pitchers are throwing, you know, that well, and you know sometimes that puts even more pressure because guys want to pick their teammates up on that. But if we continue to pitch the baseball the way we're pitching it, you know, we're not going to be giving up one run every single time either. But I like what I'm seeing in terms of the competitiveness, the aggressiveness of the guys. And I guess I'd be more concerned from an overall standpoint if I had a bunch of inexperienced guys on the offensive side. But I've seen these guys do it, and I've seen them do it a lot, and I've seen them do it at this level very, very successfully. And just right now, I mean, you know, baseball's a funny game. I mean, it's, you know, you go through things like this, and it just takes that one hit, like you said, one time to get everybody going. But we just got to keep grinding it out and stay in there and stay focused and not, you know, not try to do too much.
What did you think Eric was doing so well tonight?
You know, he was aggressive. I thought he was very aggressive and, you know, very competitive. Even when he fell behind, he still made good pitches. So he's, you know, confident. I love the confidence that he's showing out there. And, you know, but he's looked well in the offseason, so he kind of picked up where he left off.
Did you expect to send him out in the 7th? Was that always the plan?
Yeah. Yeah.
You mentioned the hitting being a matter of just kind of it has to happen and then it'll all click. Do you think that the struggles thus far have just been a matter of confidence, or it's just a new season and you got to adjust to it and then you kind of get into the groove? Or what do you, if you had to attribute it to something, is there anything?
Well, I mean, it's not like this hasn't happened before, and I'm, you know, in baseball you've got but when you've got kind of everybody going through the same thing. I mean, I think Jeremy, where do you go? Yeah, I don't think we have 1-2 out RBI in the season. That's pretty hard to do. I mean, that's rare, but that's baseball. Baseball will humble you in 2 seconds. So, got a bunch of good hitters, and right now they're struggling a little bit. But are they going to struggle like this the rest of the way? I doubt it. In fact, I would be 100% confident that they're not going to do that. So, we just got to keep playing. What I liked about tonight is even in the midst of that, you're still one hit away from winning a baseball game. So I think that bodes well for the pitching side of it, the defensive side of it, to even give ourselves a chance while we're struggling to get it going offensively.
How crushing are those moments, like in the 7th inning where you had 1st and 3rd with 1 out, you weren't able to push a run across? Is that it's just one of those moments where you know?
Well, they aren't fun, but if you've been around baseball, you know, a long time, it happens, you know, and that's just, you know, it's what it is. I don't think anybody's trying to make an out up there. They're trying. They're getting after it. It just didn't happen. And I said it, and I just said it to Trevor at the end. There's nobody in the world I'd rather have up at the plate at the end of that baseball game right there than him. And it just didn't happen tonight.
Eric's miles per hour on his fastball was dipping a little bit at the end. Do you think that was just the pitch count being high, or some of the stress of having some runners on in that last frame?
Well, sometimes you pitch it out of the stretch too. That happens, but yeah, you get fatigued as the game goes on. You're probably not going to hold the same velocity that you do in the early innings. So, but I thought he was very, very competitive all the way through, a warrior all the way through, and gave his team a chance to win. It just didn't happen.
I'm sure you would do the same thing if it was reversed in terms of walking Torkelson, but is it just going to be a matter of somebody getting in there to behind him to prevent that from happening?
Yeah, and I don't think it's so much a matter of somebody. I mean, we got the guy, you know, and you know he's a guy that's hit. If you look statistically, I think Jared, correct me if I'm wrong, he's hit over 400 last two in the 7th inning beyond. So he's the guy. It's just, you know, we're not too many at bats into it, just a little bit of a slow start. But yeah, if I'm the opposition, I would do the same thing and make, you know, it's that old, hey, we're going to make somebody else beat you. And right now, we got a couple guys who are good hitters, good players, guys that I believe in, and that have done it and done it at a high level that are just not getting it done right now. But we're 5 friggin' baseball games into it. So there is no panic in that locker room. There's no panic in the coaching staff. And as I mentioned earlier, it's like these are a bunch of guys that have done it before. Maybe I'd have a little bit more, you know, panic if I hadn't seen it out of these guys. But these are some pretty good hitters that, take pride in what they're doing, and just haven't found the big knock yet.
Is that the message to the team after a game like this, where you kind of know that it's going to fall into place? You just kind of have to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yes, because what I'm looking for is, are we playing hard? Are we, are we competing? Are we still giving ourselves a chance to win? The easy thing to do is when you're struggling like that, then you go out on the pitching side, which is, and just give into that and start blaming the hitters for whatever. There's none of that going on. These guys are a close-knit group. They're a good group. They're a talented group, and they're going to turn it around. And so I'm looking at a 10 right now. I think it's a little bit too early to, start making up stuff that's really not there.
What's impressed you most about your pitching staff so far?
I like their aggressive. I do. I like how they come in. There's no fear. And you got some young guys that are getting it done, who haven't pitched at the college level, that come in there and get after it. I think. Again, the word that comes is just the aggressiveness. Even if they fall behind, they're still able to make good pitches behind an account, and not always fastballs. They have confidence to break and pitch. They're doing a really good job of holding runners, and we have more things and more development ahead. But up to this point, I think they look pretty good.
With Eric throwing almost 120 pitches tonight, did you expect to use him so much after the weekend?
Now, just in that. Starter, I think a couple of the other guys have gone that, but you kind of got in that inning where, I can't remember it 100%, but you get in that inning where your idea is to get the lefty out, and then, once that happened, we didn't get him out. I think we walked him. Then you're leaving your best guy in there, and next thing you know, they got a lefty coming up. So it kind of built on itself, but he still was very effective. And these guys are built up. It's not like we've been sitting around doing nothing for the past few weeks, so they're built up, and they're throwing programs. They're built up, so that wasn't, it wasn't too big of a concern.
And does tonight kind of also show that, like for RJ, you're going to use him even when you're not in a save situation?
Well, we're still believing we're going to win that baseball game at that point. We've got Wednesday, a couple days off before. He's a closer. You got to have a lead to close, so you don't want to take anything for granted on that. But yeah, if we're at a one-run baseball game, our mind is we're still winning that thing in the bottom of the ninth, so we're going to put our best guy to keep it at 1. And now, had we, tied it up, I think we would have been, at some point looking to, probably make a change on that. But at that point, we're not thinking about that. We're thinking about winning.
Are you any closer with Garcia coming back, or is that still a little ways?
We'll know. Yeah, we'll know on his next evaluation with the medical staff when that happens. But I think we're pretty close.
Like potentially this weekend, or
we don't
not?
know.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't know.
Okay.
What did Cam Denny show you in getting those big outs then?
It shows he's growing up. I mean, every time a guy like that goes out there and pitch fearlessly in a situation like that is really good to see, particularly from a young guy. He made some really quality pitches and held us in there and gave the chance to win. So it's a huge plus, huge plus. And every time they do that, it's one more notch in the experience belt. It's one more notch in the confidence belt when you see a guy like that. But I was very proud of him, very proud of what he did.